My story really starts with an article that my superintendent had sent me one time, and it was regarding like how to set up those relationships. And she said to me, you're a warm demander. And I had never heard that phrase, warm demander, in my whole teaching career because all I knew were my classroom walls and how I was with my students. And as I started to read about being a warm demander, I loved the idea of convincing children of their brilliance. For most of my career, I was a middle school teacher. So by 7th grade, most of my students, unfortunately, had an idea of what type of math person they were. And unfortunately, for many of them, they weren't positive. And so I felt like I knew I needed to dismantle those ideas and convince them of their brilliance. That was my job as an educator. It wasn't to teach content, it was to teach students. And so most of that teaching was the dismantling of those ideas of people and what they said they were not. So many people told me what I could not do and what I was not. And what I said to my students is, you can be anything. And I would speak life into that every single day. And so whatever they said they wanted to be, I would say, yes, you can be that. And so that has to be intentional because as math educators, sometimes people get so caught up in just teaching the math and the standards. But what I want to say to all of you today is we teach beyond math. We teach students and we need to humanize it. And we need to be warm demanders in these spaces. And that doesn't mean just warm fuzzies. People get caught up in that. No, that means that I care about you and I hold you to the highest level all the time. And so that meant I was moving students into content that was more rigorous because they deserved it. And I told them they deserved it and I convinced them of that brilliance.